Hello, everybody. Today I am reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but I couldn't do this alone. I've brought on the Hedgehog nerd.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
So, how do you want to do this since you're more of a Sonic fan than I am?
Well, I think it's true that it's your review, so you're talking about like your experience with the movie and stuff like that, and now add my 2 cents, and I'm helping you in case I don't know you don't know the lore of something like that. But I think it should be more about you since I already did review on my channel. You should check it out, by the way. That it's not spoiler, but I think you should you should speak about your experience with this movie, and then I'll help you with some stuff or add my 2 cents. So I think that's the best way to go. So yeah.
hmm so I saw this in theaters with my friend. I don't know if you people seen my vlog, but it's on my channel. But
I saw it.
I saw it on New Year's Day, and that's
Mm,
the way to spend New Year's.
nice.
So I think this movie's a lot of fun, and it's definitely not what I was expecting. Like I was almost thinking it was gonna kind of be similar to the other two movies. I mean, it is, but like they do a lot of things I wasn't expecting. Like I said, of like the stuff they do with Shadow and the Jim Carrey as Doctor Robotnik and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like as a Sonic fan, like I was so worried if they're gonna do Shadow justice and if they're gonna do good job with this adaptation, because this movie is an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2 video game with a slight like toppings of Shadow the Hedgehog game from 2005, but mostly it's SA2, like because they said like in the previous before this movie that it's based on SA2 and Shadow game, but it's mostly based on Sonic Adventure 2. Shadow the Hedgehog is like only like a reference in some of the things. I haven't seen that. It's not a spoiler. That is when Shadow's on the bike and he has the gun in his hand. So that's the and maybe that's from where Shadow came from. But that's the most of references from Shadow. Also, that Gun Commander is also like from the Shadow the Hedgehog game. But that's the only reference to Shadow game. The rest is strictly Adventure 2 adaptation, and I was worried how they go adapt it, but as a Sonic fan, I was so delighted like how they adapted. Like, did you play that game or did you not that play SA2? Because I'm kind of interested if you are familiar with SA2 story or not exactly.
I think I learned a little bit about Shadow's backstory from what you shared with me, and I definitely see it in this movie. Like as I said, I don't think I really played the Sonic games other than I played like a mobile version of the first game. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, it counts. It counts because it's a port for original game. So yeah, you basically played the first Sonic game that ever came out. So yeah,
I
that's a
played
good start.
Ultimate,
So what?
like a Flash game.
Yeah, I know that game. That game was also fun. It's not official, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun game, and I remember playing that
hmm
on some APSs or something like that. But yeah,
Uh, should we like break down the movie? Like,
yeah. Maybe you tell like maybe not like full detail, but like quickly what this movie is about. I think that would be the best way to go with this.
so it's like Shadow has been awakened from the government secrets or something, and then he teams up with Robotnik to destroy the world because he believes they caused the death of his I think like the granddaughter, which is oh I don't know if I should. This is gonna be spoiler filled, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe spoiler, but I don't know, maybe I'll have to maybe with spoiler, and yeah, basically it's like that, but like it's because like the first minute we don't know who released Shadow. We know that maybe it's Eggman because that the hack that happened on a gun, gun system had a Eggman insignia on it, but then it turns out that Eggman had nothing to do with it, and it's actually his Eggman's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, that released Shadow, and like at first, like in SA2 game, it's kind of interesting that at first we can believe to think that Shadow is the main villain, then we think that maybe Robotnik will be the main villain, but then actually it turns out that Gerald Robotnik is actually the main villain behind all this, and the motivation behind it is like really sad. Like this movie is like really dark in terms of story and in terms of character motivations. Like I'm kind of impressed that they actually managed to do it because I was kind of worried if they're gonna censor this time because it's for kids, but no, they actually went full force with it, and I was actually I was really surprised by it.
Yeah, they. I'm surprised they got both Jim Carrey to play his grandpa and him, and Robotnik.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, see, he said like apparently like he wanted to retire after Sonic 2, but then he came back with this movie. Like, I said in my Sonic 2 review that this in this movie Jim Carrey is gonna give this Eggman like end of again, like, wow, I wasn't expecting that it would be that good. Like firstly, I knew that he didn't die in sorry in Sonic 2 because it's always like in the video games, Eggman at the end is always in some exploding. Like in Sonic 2 game, he's in Death Egg, basically a Death Star in Sonic universe that is freaking exploding. Then in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, then he also is in exploding like in space, and yet he can comes back unharmed in the next game. So it's like the normal trait from the games that he somehow always survives this kind of like explosion, unless it's because he's actually sacrificed himself. But more on that later. So yeah, the fact that Jim Carrey managed to pull off not only Robotnik and he's fully accurate video game again because he's fat, but also he acts similar, he speaks the same and stuff like that. But also that Gerald Robotnik he also plays his own grandfather. It's like the two Jim Carreys at the same time. It's like I cannot believe how it was good. I laughed so many times because of their antics or dialogues. It was like so good. Like I couldn't believe that it was so good. And then spoiler, but this is a spoiler review. So and that the fact that actually Eggman dies at the end, that Eggman sacrificed himself to save the world. One of my suggestions was that Eggman actually is gonna die here because Jim Carrey wants to retire, so it's gonna be like the send off for this character. And I was like, no, they're not gonna do this, but they actually did, and I was actually surprised. But the send off for this character was so good in this movie. I was so shocked how managed to make me laugh and cry at the same time.
Yeah, his death was definitely a surprise. I'd be fine if I don't know. I don't know if he's probably not coming back for Sonic 4. I mean, he said he was open to it, but like I feel like his sacrifice at the end would be like a good send off to Jim Carrey's career since he's retiring, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Especially that they will render the sacrifice like kinda maybe not pointless, but will be like less emotional gut punch. And like people saying who's gonna be the main villain if Egg Robotnik is not around. Well, I think gonna talk later when we get to post credit scenes. But yeah, and but speaking like of Jim Carrey character, I think like I said, the main villain in this movie is Gerald Robotnik, like the grandfather of Eggman. Like what did you think? Did you knew about Gerald Robotnik before this movie, and what did you think about him in this movie?
I feel I think I've heard of the lore that like Eggman had like a grandfather, but like I didn't know much about it. But I thought his character was pretty funny. I liked the scene where they both dance when they're sneaking into that government base.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's basically first dance scene from first Sonic movie, but only pushed to 100. It's like it was so incredible, and like actually I was like I said it was kind of I was actually kind of it was kind of awesome that they actually did the same thing that they in SA2 game. That actually Gerald Robotnik is the main villain here because he manipulates Shadow to do his own bidding. He sets up this doomsday plan that's gonna destroy everyone, and it's all gonna. It's all he's doing all this because he lost his granddaughter Maria, and like Maria ties also to Shadow, and like Shadow, like Shadow's entire motivation is that he was in this version, like because in the games, like the interesting, I was kind of wondering how they're gonna explain. I'm only gonna explain how Shadow was created because in the video game it's Gerald Robotnik who creates Shadow on space station called Swiss Colony Arc, and there he was Shadow was made to cure Maria because in the games she has like this terminal illness. And project was funded by Gun Agency or Guardian Units of Nations, but then project was shut down and Maria was tragically killed, and Shadow was also put in cryostasis for 50 years, and then Eggman released Shadow. And like Gerald is dead because he was executed in the games. Like, yeah, that was so dark. And then it turns out that Gerald set up the doomsday plan that Space Colony is gonna crash to Earth and destroy everyone as an act of revenge for Maria's death. And here is basically similar, but it's kind of different because Shadow was not created in a lab, but he crashed land on Earth in the 70s in the in the comet that is actually reference to Black Comet, which is like basically like place of operations of Black Arms. There's alien race that is controlled by Black Doom, and Black Doom is the alien that's basically a dark side in Sonic universe that gave Gerald Robotnik his blood to complete Shadow. But I don't know, maybe in the future we'll see Black Doom in this universe, but we'll see. But yeah, Shadow was discovered in Oklahoma in the 70s, and then he was tested in the government facility, and then he met Maria, and him and Maria actually bonded a lot. And these things were actually beautiful because, like Shadow said, the scientists looked at Shadow as a weapon, as a dangerous creature, whilst only Maria and I actually think Gerald were the only ones who saw Shadow as the normal person. And then I guess military wanted to shut down the project, and Maria was tragically killed, not because she was shot in this movie, sorry, but because the canisters because one soldier accidentally shot the canisters containing Shadow's energy, and that caused the explosion that killed Maria, and that both drove Shadow into this revenge-driven plot and Gerald to create this entire doomsday plan to kill himself and the other, because like it's kind of like it's really dark and it's really sad that this kind-hearted scientist, driven by grief, and he was locked up in the government facility, in government prison for 50 years. He's like he only sees his grandson and Shadow as the tools to get revenge on humanity. And like Batman said, like his plan is basically that he wants to die and take thousands of people with him. And it's like, man, that's really dark. And it's like I was so surprised that they actually went with that angle for the story.
Yeah, it was pretty dark, and some people like the chuds don't like that. I think you know what I'm talking about, but like
Yeah, I know, I know. But like, but it was the point of the original game. But it's honestly, it's not like this movie is like full dark. Like it handles like really like this difficult ideas, like I said, of grief, of revenge, of
yeah,
redemption. But also it's balanced with really really light-hearted jokes, situations, and characters. Because main trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are so fun to watch, and like
yeah,
their development from previous movie carries on here. It's actually awesome to see Team Sonic on the big screen fighting Shadow and saving the day together. And like all of them, like Sonic played by Ben Schwartz, Tails played by Colin O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles by Idris Elba. All of them, all of their voices are still great, and like their chemistry and their banter, it's like so so fun and so cool to watch. And Sonic has the most development out of this three, and there are scenes where Sonic is pushed to a breaking point, like we never seen like this, rather that we see Sonic this angry and really really wanting to basically get revenge like Shadow. Like that's the only parallel with him. But yeah, that some of the scenes were really like surprising to see with Sonic.
yeah. I agree. I think the trios. I like how it's a trio now, like Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and we can finally see that since it was introduced in the second movie. And
Yeah,
I do like the voice cast. Ben Schwartz is always good as Sonic. Idris Elba. I don't know how do you say Tails' voice actress?
Colin O'Shaughnessy. It's Colin
Yeah, she
O'Shaughnessy.
sounds good. I don't know why, but like in the movie, I thought she sounded different because it sounded more high pitched, but I didn't realize it was the same voice actress.
Yeah, maybe she uses different different tonation here. Maybe it's the like she's still awesome. And like I said, like there are moments like there's a moment like actually I was surprised how many in terms of darkness I was kind of surprised how many deaths there. Like I already mentioned, like people were cheering that Maria died, which is like I know why, because they were worried that they're gonna not show this, but they actually did that little girl actually died in this movie. Then actually Commander Walters, the gun commander, actually died in the first scene that he showed. And I was like, wow, they actually killed that important character. And I was like, wow, they're not messing around. And then at the end, of course, like spoiler, then Robotnik's Gerald dies basically like a bug on the bug zapper. That was hilarious, but also brutal death. Robotnik sacrifices and then Shadow also kind of sacrifices, but then in post-credit scene we see that he's actually alive. So that's pretty cool and opens the idea for
I knew
spin-off.
Shadow wasn't dead. I when I saw him make the sacrifice, I just knew he's not dead.
Yeah. He originally was supposed to die in Sonic Adventure 2 game, the game that he was introduced in, but he was so popular, so in Sonic Heroes he was brought back, and since then he's like the regular a cast member of Sonic characters, and in Sonic X, there's also like it's kind of similar in Sonic X in the final season when he also apparently sacrificed himself, but then we see at the end the scene that he is actually alive, so it's kind of a reference to that and a similar thing here, so it opens the door to a spin-off. But yeah, but there is like the worry that Tom Wachowski played by James Marsden actually gonna die here, because it's the third movie of the trilogy, and James Marsden has this habit of dying in the third installment. Like Cyclops died in X-Men Last Stand, remember? So like everyone was worried that he's gonna die. And actually, when Shadow thought that Tom was Walters because they used Tails disguises to sneak to Gun Bay headquarters in London to get that key to activate, basically. That cannon that was launched into space in order to exact Gerald's plan. And Shadow thought that was Commander Walters because we see Commander Walters in the flashbacks in the 70s. That he was one of the elite soldiers in that project, and he ordered Shadow to be put in stasis, and then that's why Shadow was angry at him, and Shadow punched him so hard that he knocked him out and probably destroyed his organs inside. And then he sees that it's Tom, and Sonic is like devastated that Tom maybe died. Like throughout the entire flag, we don't know if Tom is actually dead or not, and we don't understand why Sonic is angry. But we see that, but Sonic is here so angry that he wants to get the Master Emerald from Knuckles, but Knuckles said that Sonic is angry and he's no condition to make decisions, but he convinces Knuckles decides to trust Sonic on that, and then Sonic like goes Super Sonic and goes full like Superman in Man of Steel on Shadow. Like that final scene, like oh my god. But yeah, I get it, I don't understand. But like, did you thought that Tom is gonna die here or not? Like when you saw that Shadow punched him, like I'm genuinely curious.
I actually thought he was gonna die because like in X-Men Last Stand, Cyclops dies. Spoiler. But then
yeah.
And I thought it'd be like a curse. James Marsden dies in the third movie, but he didn't. I guess even the trailers looked like they were trying to make us think he was gonna die or something was gonna happen.
Yeah, no, and it actually kind of happened, but yeah, and that's so actually one other thing I think before we get to final battle, like I think that you didn't watch Knuckles' show before this movie, but honestly, don't worry, you didn't miss the thing because nothing carries on from that spin-off TV show. The only references to Knuckles' show is. Guy? Yeah, the only reference from that show is that Knuckles, when he breaks the glass in the case of emergency, those who know what I'm talking about, when he launches himself from a Big Ben tower and destroys the clock's shield, like, come on, Knuckles, they just renovated that tower and now you destroy it again. So anyway, he launched himself and he had Flame Fist, which he gained at the end of that show. And the reason why we have Wade Whipple, that guy who is played by Adam Pally, and he has the Master Emerald, and in the show is explained why Knuckles trusts him with Master Emerald because Knuckles and Wade bond in that show, but these are only connections to yeah. Oh, what are you saying, dude? I don't know.
Who's he talking to?
I don't know. To
probably
me
you or me. I don't know.
To me or him, I don't know.
We're talking about Sonic 3.
Yeah. So like I said, like you don't have to watch Knuckles to understand Sonic 3 because like it's completely separate. Also, I like that because MCU, for example, had that problem in Phase 4 and 5 that you have to watch spin-off projects in order to understand what it's talking about. For example, like the biggest one, that The Marvels is a sequel to Miss Marvel, and if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, you don't understand who Kamala Khan fully is or why she's in that position at the beginning of the movie. Like Miss Marvel, I haven't watched Miss Marvel. I heard it's good, but it's like they're targeted to like young teenage girls, and it's not a problem. But it's not like the show that is for everyone in terms of demographic. And someone that doesn't like this type of show that is not gonna like Miss Marvel, and he has to watch if you want to keep up with the movies. And I like that so far. This Sonic Cinematic Universe keeps that basically early 2000s approach of superhero series that normal projects are like the only project that you need to watch is basically like if you want to watch Sonic 3, you just have to watch previous 2, and that's about it. You don't have to watch like 5 spin-off projects in order to understand what is going on. And like I said, with Knuckles, if you watch Knuckles, you understand some of it, but there are only like 2 references to that show. The rest is like fully a sequel to the previous movie and the first one, of course. So you haven't lost much if you haven't watched Knuckles' show. So that's pretty nice, honestly.
Yeah, I've not seen the Knuckles show, but once I saw that guy, I just knew, this is from the Knuckles show.
Yeah.
But I would like to check out the show, but I just haven't made the time to check it out.
Well,
I
don't
have
worry, like
Paramount Plus, but
yeah, don't worry, like you're
are
not
the
missing
episodes
much.
long?
No, it's like I think the first episode is like 45 minutes. The rest is like 30 to 20 minutes. So it's like
Oh, that ain't long at all.
it's not a long show. It's only 6 episodes, so it's like not a long show so far because maybe there's gonna be second season. I don't know, but honestly, what this movie made like this movie, something I'm gonna talk about. What this movie made, honestly, is made me cry, made me emotional because not only with Maria, I know that she's gonna die, but her scenes with Shadow, like when she sits on that flower field, that was so beautiful scene. And when she died, like it hit hard because we saw those scenes before when she was bonding with Shadow, when she was dancing with him. They were watching movies together. They were like doing like this these types of those types of things. And when she died, that was a pretty gut punch. And like and like I said, when Thomas got there are a lot of parallels. Like I said, in Sonic Adventure 2, the main theme of that game is basically like, aside from what is this movie, there are a lot of parallels. Like for example, Tails is a genius who is humble, while Eggman is a genius that is drunk of his own ego. And Knuckles is like treasure hunter, but he's not materialistic. While Rouge the Bat is really materialistic, basically Catwoman. So in this movie, there's a lot of parallels between Sonic and Shadow. Like not only because like we both lost someone. Sonic lost Longclaw, that owl that was his caretaker in the first movie. While Shadow lost Maria, the only person that treated him as a normal person, not just a weapon or like a science experiment. And yeah, and there's a moment like in the beginning when Sonic and Tom visit Sonic's old cave from the first movie, and Tom says that pain from loss of Longclaw didn't change Sonic who he is in here, and he points to his chest. And then Sonic then says, "I don't know what I will do without you." And Maria does exactly the same thing in the flashlight. Maria also points Shadow's chest, and she says that that's who you are in here. And Shadow said, "I don't know what I do without you." And then we have the scene when Shadow returns to that old military facility in Colorado. It's Colorado, and he sees that broken pod that he was when he first met Maria, and there's like this reflection. And then in the later scene, we see Sonic in the same position, in the same reflection, the same camera angle. Like, that was so like there was a lot of like there's clearly seen there are a lot of parallels. And I'm like honestly like I kind of don't like that people are like dismissive of these movies, that there are things that just like corporate or boring. Well, when we clearly see that the creators, they don't just make like entertainment for kids, they're making like they're generally a movie with emotions, with some themes, and with with some thematic through line. And it's like it was so interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a big franchise for Sonic. A lot of people, I don't know. When I saw like the Chuds make a video about this movie, it's clear they don't know the Sonic lore. In my, I mean, I
Yeah,
know I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but like this movie is clearly for Sonic fans, and they love Sonic. The creators obviously do.
yeah, exactly. And also what shows the most what they love about Sonic is the finale. That the finale was so incredible. Like Super Sonic we already seen in the previous movie, so it was still cool to see him. But then when he like flies with full force into that cannon, that space center that Eggman, Gerald, and Shadow, and he grabs Shadow and he like throw him back to Earth. And like and then like fight them. The first thing that Shadow does is just like punch the Chaos Emeralds out of Sonic, and then when they collide with the Emerald, Sonic gains his super form back. Also, Shadow gets his super form in live action. Then we have basically Dragon Ball fight. Super Saiyan fight. Like I didn't watch all of Dragon Ball, but I know what Super Saiyan fight is, and this is who basically live action Dragon Ball, like two super powered beings fighting each other and with super speed, the earth shattering, mountains crumbling, earth exploding. Like this is basically a live action anime. It's like it was like so so amazing to see, and like oh my god.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun finale. Like I like how Sonic and Shadow were Super Sonic and Super Shadow. Then they are in the space. I like how it all takes place in space.
Yeah, Yeah, basically they did Superman before Superman. When speak of Superman, like this moment when like Sonic is also beaten by Super Shadow, and Shadow asks him where are his friends, why he did abandon them, and like Sonic is so angry that he says, "Don't you dare talk about my family." And Shadow says, "I thought you cared about them, especially that one. What was his name? Tom." And then Sonic gets so angry that he punches him so hard that he destroyed that ruins in Greece because they were in Greece. And Shadow was launched to the moon, and he's knocked out of his super form. Like Sonic got so angry and so powerful, and Super Sonic grabs Shadow, and Shadow is like to people who think that Shadow is an edge, like here Shadow I think in this one Shadow is like fully done. He completed his task, and Earth will be destroyed, and his revenge will be complete. So he's like he doesn't fight back. He's just like, come on, do it, finish me. I'm right here. I'm not have nothing to live for. Finish me. And he points to his chest, and then Sonic remembers what Tom said, and Sonic says, "No, this is not who I am." And he lets go, and super form turns up, and Shadow, rather than attacking him, he just asks, "What are you doing? You beat me. Finish me, and get your revenge." And Sonic says, "No." There's no winners in revenge, and we have this beautiful moment on the moon when two characters who suffer major loss in life, they just sit and talk, and we have this beautiful moment of sun appearing from Earth, and it's like so beautiful. Like I always get misty eyed during this scene because it's so beautiful. And basically, Superman is basically some stuff from Superman. When Superman would do the same thing, with sit with this arch enemy and would just talk with him about it, and like this moment when Sonic's like Shadow asks Sonic, did that pain ever go away in terms of loss, and Sonic says that no, but what he realizes that there's something more stronger than that pain, is that love that he felt for Longclaw, and that's made Shadow realize that the revenge is not worth it, and they team up to stop Gerald's evil plan. And it's like that was so beautiful scene, like basically Superman stuff, like it was so beautiful scene, I have to say.
Yeah, I like where they both team up at the end, and then I did like the scene where like Robotnik kills his grandpa by just throwing him into the machine, and then he's gone. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, like a bug on the bug zapper. Like that was so brutal death. Like, oh my God, yeah. And while Eggman, Tails, and Knuckles, because they teleported, they're trying to stop the Eclipse cannon. Super Sonic Special fight the gun robots, and those robots are from video games. And it's like, wow, they actually took this. I thought these robots won't be in the movie, but they actually were. And it's like, oh my God. And also, like the biggest thing, when the Super Sonic Shadow fight, there's Live and Learn playing in the background. The song that is playing in the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2, and one of the most iconic vocal songs from Sonic media. Which, speaking of, like, the previous two movies didn't have a lot of video games from the video game music, practically none. But this movie has a lot of music from the video games. Like, for example, like just Live and Learn, like I said, plays in the final battle. But also at the beginning, when Sonic races Tails and Knuckles, when the race is finished, there's a jingle that is always at the end of the level in Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, I think. Eggman vocal theme is Eggman's ringtone when Agent Stoll calls him to warn him about Gerald's plan. And there are a couple of also others. Also, Eggman's theme, there's kind of like this militaristic kind of theme that was in Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Sonic Unleashed, and a couple of more. So it's like there's a lot of music from video games now. So like the biggest gripe that fans had with the soundtrack of the previous movies now is resolved, because aside from the original music, which is still amazing because Tom Holkenborg creates the always amazing soundtracks, and here it just goes all out. And aside from that amazing original music, we also have a lot of music from the video games, and it's like so good. It's like so amazing to see. Like I couldn't believe that he live and learn in cinema.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I forget. Did you like Kristen Ritter's character in it? I
Yeah,
liked her in it.
I actually
Jessica
did. Like,
Jones.
yeah, like I was so surprised that this is actually Jessica. I didn't remember the actress who played Jessica Jones. I was like, oh my God, it's her. Actually, it's actually her. So it's like I was pretty fun to see her. Like her role is not big, and she's supposed to be like this kind of typical like higher ranking officer, this government agency. Like she's not fully evil. She's just like really distrustful of Sonic and friends, but she's not like she's getting in the way mostly.
It's like a
So
big misunderstanding. So yeah, she's not really a bad guy.
yeah, exactly. And Yeah, I think she will be like I hope that like I thought before like when Krista Ritter was announced that she's about everyone thought that she's gonna voice Rouge the Bad, but sadly Rouge is not in this movie, sadly, and like everyone was hoping maybe director Rockwell is basically Rouge the Bad, but in disguise, but no, it's not. It's not her. It's just normal human. But I hope if Rouge ever arrives in the Sonic movie universe, then they're gonna pair her up with director Rockwell because that would be pretty fun dynamic to see her. Hey, maybe and I don't know who voiced the Rouge the Bad, but my fan cast with that Scarlett Johansson is voicing Rouge the Bad, but it's my fan cast, so it's not official. So we'll see. But yeah, I think her character was pretty nice. Also, another character that I think we should mention, Agent Stone. You know, that Eggman sidekick. Like he has like to everyone that thought Stone is not a badass or he's just like well he's entering that mod on that bike when he like did shut down these drones that attack Sonic and his team and then we see like his development about this way that he's kind of jealous of Eggman's relationship with Gerald, but then he actually sees that first that Gerald actually plans something more rather than just ruining the world, and you know and and at the end like we see him like actually saying goodbye to Doctor. Actually like my theory was that throughout this time was that despite Eggman saying that humans are expendable and only machines can achieve his goals and Stone is only like his means to an end, when I was always thinking that Eggman actually cared about Stone, because why else he would be in every like scene when Robotnik is in, why he would would do expositions to Stone about his plans in the first movie, why he would trust him with contingency plan in Sonic 2 in terms of creating that base in that coffee shop, and why would he like said that in this movie that he's the trusted man that he trusts. So like at the end, Eggman, the last words that Eggman says before he dies, it's like that he actually cares about Stone, and I was like, yes, I knew it that Robotnik cared about Agent Stone, and that was so beautiful. It's sad that Eggman is now gone and Agent Stone is alone. So it's like that character was also pretty greatly developed, I think.
I always wondered if he was like in love with Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, definitely he's like the biggest supporter of Robotnik. Definitely it's that definitely is that thing.
He even made like a coffee cream of him in like the last one.
Yeah, and in this one there's also reference to that. So it's like also another reference to I think about to mention that one really obscure reference that Spanish TV show La Última de Pasión or something like that Robotnik is watching in his Robo
Oh, I
Crab.
forgot that.
Yeah, then that TV show actually was in Knuckles' show. That was in episode 5 where Knuckles is in a hotel room and he watches that. So that's like kind of obscure continuity, but it was pretty fun. I didn't realize that until I found out about that online. So yeah, that was pretty surprising. I think actually, what do you think about the visuals in this movie? How they how the characters look, about the action in this movie? What do you think about this?
I think it looks. I thought the visuals looked really great. They actually looked most nice I've seen from the other two movies, and like the CGI for the Hedgehog, Knuckles, and Tails, they all look great.
Yeah, and action here is like on a whole another level. Like without like even if even with outside of finale, there's a lot of great action sequence. Like from the opening sequence, when Shadow breaks out of his pose. Like there's like build up to him waking up, gun soldiers rushing out to the scene, pointing guns at him, and then like his vital flatlines, and you think that he actually doesn't go like that, but then he wakes up and he completely decimates gun soldiers and he escapes from that facility, and that was like so cold open. That was so good. And then that sequence in Tokyo when Shadow basically destroys Team Sonic, and then he's on the bike and he has a gun. That was so cool. And then Sonic chases after him, and with that incredible sequence that is so fast, and then they run up that tower, and then whole action sequence ends when they collide in the air and they create that EMP that shuts down entire power in Tokyo for a minute, and that was so good. That was in promotional clips also, now spoiler. And then that sequence in London that they tried to get into Gun HQ, that was also intense. Which actually I was in London this year. And I was on those locations, on Tower Bridge, near when the gun base in the gun headquarters is located in the movie. I was like thinking, oh yeah, this is where Sonic 3 is gonna take place, and I was like so not regretting being in London and being in those sightseeing spots, because Sonic ran basically through all of them, even Abbey Road. Yeah, I've been on Abbey Road, so like on that crossing. So like I was like, oh my god, I'm glad I went to London and I went to those locations before the movie, because it
You
hit
went to the
different.
Sonic free locations.
Yeah.
You went there.
Yeah, I was there. Like I wasn't sure which locations are gonna be in the movie. Like I knew from the trailer gonna be Big Ben when Knuckles is destroys that clock's shield, where the gun base is located, and where the Eclipse cannon launches off its tower bridge. So I was there. I didn't know that Sonic's gonna run through Buckingham Palace, Piccadilly Circus, and Abbey Road, and I was there actually on those locations in, I think it was in September of 2024. I was there, so so it was like kind of surprising that there's so many locations I've been there that year, and I was like, that's so rewarding to see that in the movie. That's I think the word that describes it the most. I think.
Yeah. So like, what else could we talk about for this movie, or do you think we talked about everything?
Well, I think we should talk about post-credit scene, because post-credit scene set like the big future for this franchise. Like the first post-credit scene, like I mean, first thing we should talk about is like the end, because there are two post-credits. There's one post-credit scene that is in the middle of credits, and there is like one that's at the end. And at the end, there's like simple, like we see Shadow's inhibitor ring that he unclipped from his wrist when he pushed the Eclipse cannon from the Earth before it exploded, and we see that the ring crashed in Nevada desert, I think, and then we see Shadow pick him up, so we know that he's alive, and this sets up that he's gonna be in Sonic 4 probably, and that maybe they're gonna do a spin-off, because there was like kind of a rumor that they're gonna do Shadow spin-off if he's gonna be well received in this movie, which he was, and now it's all but confirmed that they're gonna do spin-off about Shadow. Either it's a TV show like Knuckles, or a movie like I don't know, like there was a lot of characters movies about it when they're popular.
I hope
So
they
yeah,
do a Shadow spinoff. That would be fun.
yeah, that'll be so cool to see. But
Keanu
then
Reeves says Shadow was obviously amazing.
yeah, he was incredible. Like he didn't have much lines, which is again because Shadow in the games doesn't talk much, so it's kind of
I
like
thought he had a lot of lines, but I guess not.
yeah, it depends how you see it, but I think the most important moments he had a lot of lines that he was almost so awesome, and his interaction with Maria, that was so amazing to see her and Shadow talking, and that was so incredible. But then the middle boss credits is like the meat of it all. Like Sonic overshoots the finishing line with that race we see at the end of the entire movie, and he finds himself in New York City. But then we see Metal Sonic teleporting behind him and actually trying to destroy him, but then of course Sonic moves out of the way, and Metal Sonic looks so accurate to the video games, basically 1-to-1 from the video games. And like Sonic says that it's hard to copy original, but then what shocked me the most is that there are a lot of Metal Sonics. Like what in the games there's like only one Metal Sonic, and that Metal Sonic in the game also transforms himself to a Godzilla-like monster named Metal Overlord. But anyway, but here there's like a lot of it's not a new thing. There were like plot lines of Metal Sonic's army. Like there's the main Metal Sonic, and there's like his clones, or like his entire army. Like that was in Fleetway comics, and that was in Archie comics. So that there's not a new that's not a new thing, but still was so shocked to see in a live action. But then when all hope seems lost, when Sonic is about to be destroyed, then someone special appears and destroys all Metal Sonic. Was actually, and that's actually it's fun in detail that in the movie they just accidentally when Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik move the laser away from Earth, they accidentally destroy the moon, like it's like half of it. And like it was in the game, but in the game it was like a dramatic moment when Eggman demonstrated the power of Eclipse Cannon to terrorize the world in order to force it to submission. Here is played for last, but it's actually still pretty fun, funny, and nice reference. But in this post-credit scene, the moon is still cracked, so it's like nice continuity, and the moon will be cracked in this franchise up to that point. But then who saves Sonic? Amy Rose, and like oh my god, like my bingo card basically who's gonna be in the post credits was either Amy Rose, Silver the Hedgehog, or Team Chaotix. That's Vector the Crocodile, Charmy B, and Espew the Chameleon, and they chose Amy Rose. And like with Metal Sonic and Amy, it's kind of setting up maybe Sonic CD adaptation. Though who created Metal Sonic? Because originally Robotnik was the one who created Metal Sonic. While here Eggman is dead, so maybe it was like kind of contingent. Maybe Agent Stone created him. I don't know. But maybe if it's gonna be like a Terminator plot, if this Metal Sonic is from the future and this entire army is like this Skynet, basically Terminator army, then maybe it's gonna be time travel plot and Silver is gonna be in the next movie. Like, I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Anyway, what do you think about the cameo and what do you think about the future for this for the fourth movie?
I thought Amy's cameo was cool. I wonder who's gonna voice her. And
Yeah,
like the Metal Sonic cameo was pretty cool.
yeah. Oh, hey, Davi official. I don't know who.
I don't know who it is either.
Oh, but anyway,
I get
hey,
random viewers if
hey,
I go
dude.
live.
It happens. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. But like, in Sonic Force confirmed to be in 2024, sorry, 2027. So like it's a long time, but honestly, I kind of like I'm kind of like on board with that long delay because after these three movies we need a little break, and I think and with additional time they're gonna cook something big, and they're gonna cook something good. No, without Jim Carrey and without Robotnik, there will be like there will be like kind of void to fill, and you may ask who's gonna be the main villain. Well, it could be Metal Sonic, since like he could be the next big bad. I mean, in Sonic games, in Sonic Heroes, he betrayed Eggman and he became his own villain. So it's like in Sonic Heroes, so it's like it's not impossible. Maybe it could be Agent Stone since he's still around. Maybe it's gonna be a new original villain. That would be pretty cool to try to create new villain for Sonic the universe now that we had basically classic stories adapt with Robotnik as the main villains. Then I think we could experiment with original villains, but I don't know which route they will choose, which route they're gonna make. If Jim Carrey is gonna return as Robotnik, I hope he will not, because I think that this movie is the perfect conclusion to his character. But I don't know. We'll see how that. As Hollywood and money speaks their own language, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out. But
The villain could be endless, in my opinion. Like it probably will be Metal Sonic, but like I feel like it has to be like a bigger villain. I'm not sure. Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know, it had to be like I don't know, like a Thanos level threat. I don't know how to put it like that.
yeah. So maybe Black Doom. Maybe Black Doom will be the main villain, since he's like basically like the dark side of Thanos in Sonic universe. But again, he's like one and done villain, so maybe like one movie, but it's just like big running villain. Maybe Metal Sonic, maybe Agent Stone, maybe someone else, maybe Jim Carrey's got it. I don't know, but as the future is still exciting because like I want to take time with here to like say how far we go, because remember we started in 2019 with the movie that had that horrible Sonic design, or like Sonic design that was so uncanny and so creepy. And one positive change, yeah, but one positive change from the director, that they listened to the fans and or like for like healthy critique, and they changed Sonic's design to look more appealing and more actually looking like Sonic. One choice saved this entire franchise. Not only because we got the first Sonic movie that was so wholesome fun, maybe not the greatest movie, but was so wholesome fun and so fun to watch, and people not only support this movie because it was so fun movie and created a really fun character of Sonic, but also because they wanted to support this movie after a studio and director show massive respect for the fans, and that they wanted to see Sonic done justice. And then we got a sequel that was even better with video game accuracy, also doing its own thing. We got Tails, Knuckles, and compared to the video games at the time, Knuckles and Tails were awesome depicted in this movie. And now we got the spin-off based on Knuckles, and now in this one we get an adaptation of one of the best Sonic games ever, Sonic Adventure 2, and it was all amazingly adapted, but also we got Shadow's adaptation right, and then we got the story that was dark, mature, but also balanced with lighthearted. It's like if you told me that 5 years ago that we're actually gonna get Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation, and now we're gonna have Sonic Trilogy, live action, big budget, basically cinematic universe style Sonic Trilogy, I wouldn't believe you. But we actually get it, our childhood dreams are coming true, and now we have gonna have more movies, more spin-offs, and even maybe in the future, like even if there will be like drop in quality in terms of those projects, at least we have like this trilogy that actually worked out both critically and financially. Like Sonic 3 not only beat Mufasa now, but also it crossed $1 billion. So it's like that's so amazing to see. Like this movies also these movies revitalize Sonic franchise for the new generation. Now kids gonna grow up with this version of the characters, which I think could be said that'll be definitive version of the Sonic characters. But also in terms of video games, they're gonna be they're like there's now better. But because in 2019 there was nothing. Sonic was dying. After Sonic Forces, there was like no plan, no new games. There was like this franchise was dying, but movies revitalized it. And since then we got Sonic Colors Ultimate and Remaster of Sonic Colors, which was not great. But then we got Sonic Frontiers game, which was really good. Then we got Sonic Superstars, a division of classic like Sonic basically, which was also pretty good, but bosses sucked in the other. Then we got last year Shadow Generations or Sonic X Shadow Generations, one half remaster of Sonic Generations. And yeah, I have the new Shadow story, which was great. And also we got a new TV show that was Sonic Prime. We got
I've
a
seen
lot
that.
of yeah, you saw that. Like we're gonna. Maybe we're gonna talk about the next time. We got Archie, sorry, W comics are coming, so there's a lot of merchandise. There's Lego sets, like dude, like Sonic was freaking saved by these movies, and now Sonic 3 is like combination of all of this. And I think Sonic 3 showcases the best like, what this franchise has to offer. It showcases action, emotion, characters, darkness, yet also hardness of this franchise. And I couldn't be more happy to be a Sonic fan, and I could be more happy how this movie turned out. So like it's this movie is like monumental achievement for me as a Sonic fan. And it's like I couldn't be more happy how this turned out, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Makes me want to buy a Sonic, like a Shadow plush.
Oh yeah, definitely I'm gonna buy it after this movie, definitely. And I actually saw this movie 4 times already, and I still want to do it at least 2 more times to beat my record, because my record of going to the movies is for seeing Across the Spider-Verse 5 times. Well, now I want to beat that record with seeing Sonic 3 6 times. I hope I'm gonna make it. I think I'm gonna make it with those many, because there's only like 2 showings left with in my schedule, but we'll see how that
Oh
goes. But
yeah, let's see. Yeah, I only
yeah.
see it movies once. I don't really go see movies multiple times.
Yeah, I know it depends on the viewer. It depends on how motivated you are. So I'll totally understand that. But
It's
yeah,
also
but
because of
also
time and schedule.
yeah, but that's a cool sign of, like you said, that you watched Sonic Prime. Did you enjoy that show? I'm just kind of curious since we're talking a lot about Sonic here. What do you think about Sonic Prime? Like we watch
I couldn't
fully
really
that.
get into it that much since I'm not the. But like I did like the ideas they explored, like Sonic going through sort of a multiverse, like one dimension's like an apocalypse, the other's like a pirate world, a nature world, and then he's just trying to bring it all back, and then he has to fight evil Tails, and I thought evil Tails was funny.
Yeah, that was like nine, or because the evil taste, like misunderstood taste, is called Nine. He's like the best part of this show. And like honestly, my take, I don't want to say much about this show here, because I will do the first big video I'll do this year. I don't know when, but I'm gonna do it. Is to review in depth Sonic Prime, and that show is basically like a complicated, because that show's made for kids, and I think as a kid show it's pretty fine. As a Sonic fan, I think it's good. It's what cool, but I mean the biggest thing that I think this show should have been season one entire season, because the finale is like the most evident that this 26 order was supposed to be one season, but Sonic about Netflix order that's gonna be 3 seasons, and then the finale is like basically like a drawn out Avengers Endgame. Like there's a reason why Avengers Endgame final battle is like, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes long. Like both phases, like first phase when Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America fighting Thanos, and then when the army of superheroes joining them, and then they are fighting against Thanos and his army. This whole thing like lasts 8 minutes, while the basically the same finale in Sonic Prime is stretched out over I think 4 or 5 episodes. So like it's clearly not to meant it was not meant to be a season. It was clearly meant to be like maybe a 3-parter finale to this show, but Netflix. So the finale suffered because of it. Aside from that, like this show is that childish is one thing, but I think the show is that for me fully like when I heard Shadow saying "come at me, bro," it's like like well, it's not for me. It's not fully for me, and I don't think Shadow should be saying like Sonic should say "Come at me, bro." That's in his character, but with Shadow, I don't know why did he say that, but it's like well, it's a fine show, but I have complicated issues with that, and we're gonna see in my Sonic Prime review when
That'll be fun.
yeah, when I'm gonna do it, but I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I have first want to rewatch that show as one complete because I was watching these seasons only once when they were released originally on Netflix, and I watched them like with like big times apart. So I want to watch them as were intended as a one complete series, and then I'm gonna say my full thoughts on individually on the season and as a show as a whole. So look forward to that. But yeah, I got a sidetracked from the Sonic 3, so yeah, I think that's it. I think we talked about everything in this movie. Spoilery, we talked about what I love, what you really liked about this movie. So I don't know. I think this movie is
I guess we'll go to
amazing.
the rating.
Yeah, my rating for this movie is it will be like it's biased like because it will be like the 11 or like 1000 out of 10. But I think I would do a list that was I will stack up with this movies against the previous years because my list of my top five like because I could do top 10, but I think top five will be like the easy one with my top five movies from last year were like number five is Smile 2, number four is Deadpool and Wolverine, number three is Wicked, number two is Transformers 1, and number one is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because I really waited for this movie so long and they absolutely delivered with that. But your rating, what's your rating for this movie?
I forget what I gave it. Me and my friend gave it like an 8 or a 9. I think we both just thought it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I like Shadow. I like the whole characters. I like how they're building towards the Sonic universe, and I definitely love to see more for sure. So I'd probably give it maybe an 8.9 out of 10.
That's nice. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that we talked about it. Unless you want to add something to this, or we're finishing it right now.
I guess we'll finish it since I don't think I got really anything else to say. I'll definitely do a review for my 2025 4 reviews coming soon. It'll be like a solo video, but I
Nice.
think it'll be fun. I hope it goes on Paramount Plus. It probably will.
Yeah, they said that digital release is like in January 21, so it's like very close. And
Yeah,
when
very close.
yeah, and when Steelbook or Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray is gonna come out, I'm definitely gonna buy it and I'm gonna watch it and review it in the summer. I'm gonna review it full in depth, like I review previous two movies and Knuckles show in depth. I gonna review this movie when the all the behind the scenes commentaries, Blu-rays, and are gonna be released. I'm gonna rewatch it and do full in depth since the clips are gonna be available. And I'm gonna use them to illustrate my points. So
Yeah,
yeah, definitely it's gonna be in the summer because that would be like nice time to watch this movie again and have nice vibe and whatever. So that would be nice. Unless something bad happens, which I hope it won't. The schedule is set for this review for the summer.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so those are your announcements for 2025?
yeah. I mean, I did the entire video about what I want to do in 2025, so you guys can check it out and you can check it out in
Yeah,
my
check out the Hedgehog Nerd. Maybe I'll definitely put his link to his channel on the description and yeah. Oh,
nice,
yeah, we didn't
nice.
get many comments, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, anyway, I think that's it. So it's your chance, so you do the outro or something like that.
Okay, whoever's watching, thank you all for coming on. And I think we both had a good time talking. And my next review is probably going to be Madam Web.
Good luck with that.
I'll hope
Yeah.
I hope it goes well. But
Yeah.
and then I'll finish my TMNT reviews, and I'll get straight into reviewing the 2003 show, and then reviewing the Batman animated series. So that's
Oh,
my
nice,
future plans.
nice. I'm looking forward to the Batman one especially.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. It's probably my most anticipated for 2025.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to it, definitely. You have already know that I'm gonna watch these reviews definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna. I don't know. I've had other friends like the All New Nerds do a podcast on the animated series, but ever since they left YouTube, they never got to finish their Batman reviews. So I thought, why not review the Batman animated series since I finally got the show on Blu-ray.
That's I think good idea. Also, I actually also got a Blu-ray for the Batman last year, so that's pretty interesting how it turned out. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty good. I'm looking forward to that definitely.
thank you. Do you got anything else to say, or are you good?
No, I think that's everything. So yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time.
See you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.